Along with, I'm sure, most of you, I was really surprised as to how well Baylor did in the 2018 season. Ended up going to a pretty good bowl game, and really they actually had a pretty good 2018 season. But are they going to do in 2019? That is what we're going to be going over today. Baylor is schedule preview. We're going to be going over a few players that this team will be losing, who they're going to be returning, and also we're going to be looking at their schedule for the first time this offseason. Baylor went 7-6 in 2018, and this is a team that really has a ton of potential in 2019, almost as much as any team in the Big 12 for that matter. They returned Charlie Brewer at quarterback. I can't talk. Brewer in 2018 had 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. That is an insane amount of yards. And I mean, I really do believe that Charlie Brewer has a lot of potential for this season. Just looking at that, his touchdown interception ratio is okay. It's not the best one. Really, the yardage that he's putting up is pretty impressive. If he can drop some of those interceptions, I really do believe that Brewer should have a really good season in 2019. They lose 2 offensive linemen and receivers on offense, so they really only lose 4 starters on offense. That isn't bad at all. They do lose 1 defensive tackle, linebacker, and a safety on defense. Really not many losses at all. They only lose 3 on defense. Possible 9-10 win season in 2019 is a big question. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering. I think that they could get to a 9-win season. That is a very possible outcome. I don't know about a 10-win season. That's kind of pushing it a little bit, I think, right now, just because we're in March right now. We are still several months away until the season beginning. So it's tough to say as to whether they'll get to 10 wins yet. I do believe, though, 9 wins is definitely a pretty good possibility for this Baylor team next season. Here's what their schedule looks like. You've got SF Austin, UTSA, Rice, and Iowa State in your first month of action. So really, their non-conference opponents aren't bad at all. They should win those first 3, I would say. That Rice game on the road could be a little bit of a difficult one just because it's a road game. But I do believe them to win all 3. Iowa State, K-State, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State. Really, they do have a little bit of a tough schedule. Of course, for almost every Big 12 team, Texas, Oklahoma, and Iowa State are going to be your most challenging games. But the good thing is for Baylor is that they have all 3 of them at home. I wouldn't be surprised if they upset one of those teams. Iowa State, that's probably their most likely one. But I do believe that, there's a pretty good chance that they'll beat either Oklahoma or Texas. I'd say it's more likely that they upset Oklahoma than Texas, just because that is the first game of those 2. And so they won't be as tired for that second game against Texas. Considering if you give it your all in 1 week, then likely in the next week it'll be tough to be able to get to that, or to get to that level again. But definitely they've got a chance against both teams. I think they'll both be close games. Here's kind of what I'm expecting. I'm giving them 5 guaranteed wins for next season. That is actually quite a bit compared to most teams. I give them the first 3. Then those 4 games kind of in the middle there are going to be sort of difficult. I do think that they've got a chance almost against every one of those teams. Most challenging being the Iowa State at home game, but K-State, of course, on the road, you can't forget about them. Texas Tech at home, they should win that one, I think. And then West Virginia on October 31st. I'm projecting that a win just because West Virginia I'm not expecting much out of. TCU on the road, November 9th, it could be difficult. And of course, the Oklahoma and Texas games, those are both going to be difficult ones. And then you got Kansas on the road to finish off the season. I also give them that one. So that's kind of what I'm expecting from Baylor. Estimated record-wise, I'm saying 6-6 to 10-2. If you want a more definite answer as to what I'm expecting record-wise, I'm going to say you could either go between 8-4 to 9-3. That is probably the most likely. I'm not ruling out 10-2, but 10-2 is just about as unlikely for them as it is to go 6-6. I really am expecting quite a bit from this team next season. But anyway, that is it for Baylor's schedule preview. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the comments below. I'd like to hear what you guys think on Baylor. Very interesting team in 2019. Once again, thanks guys for watching, and stay tuned for more from ASC.